Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to NFR. Of course, unfamiliar night on the channel. It's a Tuesday night, and that's because we have a special event. We had the first round last week, Tuesday. That was in Las Vegas. We're now at Zandvoort in the Netherlands, obviously for the League versus League series. Round 2 of 3. Of course, we have 5 leagues competing, 4 drivers. As I say 4, I see we've got 19, so somebody missing a driver. The format should be 5 leagues, 4 drivers from each. Teams, rather drivers, will not be competing individually. Everybody will be competing as a team. Looking for any action out on track? Nothing yet. Welcome to everybody already on the stream, already a busy comment section before the stream even got going. A lot of support for the various leagues, lots of SKR, lots of JPR. Still no action out on track. Guys making me look for filler in the very early stages of the night. There's a name I haven't seen in a while. Welcome to Staffy. Welcome to the League versus League. CFRL, SKR, JPR, LSA, DRS. Everyone coming together on a Tuesday night, selecting 4 of their quickest representatives. Of course, the Zandvoort layout can be a challenging one when racing in a full grid like this. Everybody's going to have to be mindful of that in the opening laps. It's a long race, and it's in every single team's interest to have as many cars finish as possible. A little bit easier than last week when we were using the F124 cars. Guys have now chosen the custom cars, so the teams all have their own livery. Just as a reference, JPR guys, they're in red, LSA in white, SKR in green, DRS in blue, presume that's who we're looking at now, and then SAFRL, they're going to be in the black. So Kurbis begins what I believe is his first timed lap of the night, as does Virus. 5 cars already out on their first quick lap. And Kurbis, he's been greyed out. I think there's a caution and he's been greyed out. So I think Kurbis has retired from quali. It means he's going to have to start right from the back of the grid, and it's not the way you want to get your night started. No lap times just yet. This is one of the JPR drivers, I believe, the red livery, Top Gun. Also out on a lap. We're getting those first lap times now. Virus goes quickest. He's followed by Zero to Cool, followed by Harsh Cartoon. All those cars are teammates. One of those cars, Kurbis, he has retired from the session. Will take no further part. We'll only see him again in about 14 minutes from now when we get off on that formation lap. Shane goes quickest, 109. At a 109.8, so 4 tenths clear. Panda P2. Then we have Virus, Zero to Cool, Rota, Harsh Cartoon, Storeful, and Awakes. Those are the drivers that have set lap times. We have had the other driver squeeze in, so we started with 19, we do have 20. We do have 20 drivers in the field. Unfortunately, only 19 are going to be able to set a lap time. Quibus will take no further part. This is logic. So many quick drivers in this field. Every time I go to a driver, I want to say this is a quick driver, but that entire field is quick. Quality field, tight racetrack. Things could get complicated. Remember last week, started with the 20 drivers. We did get the 2 retirements on the final lap, but other than that, we would have finished with a full allotment of 20 drivers. So not only are they quick, they don't make too many mistakes. But Zandvoort, it's not Las Vegas. Las Vegas, full throttle, lots of straights. Zandvoort can get messy. Has been described as a bit of a roller coaster. 109.4. Logic now goes 2 tenths clear at the front. Allow P2, Brands P3. The rear is Baby Boy. I think that was the driver who squeezed in at the last minute. He has not left the pits. It's Ferree. He's out on track looking for the first time lap of the evening. Now approaches the all-important banked final curb. Really got to get it right, otherwise you don't get your run right down this straight. Good first run, puts him up into P5. It's a 110.1. But if he wants to get up onto pole position, he's going to have to get himself into the 109s. Lots of cars in the pits now, so a bit of a lull period. Seems like everybody getting out on track at more or less the same time. Don't think this is going to be the easiest of tracks for teammates to help each other out with things like slipstream. Of course, this sets the field. Then we go off for the race. If you're starting from the rear, things could be difficult. Not the easiest racetrack to find overtakes, and especially if you find yourself in a constant DRS train, things can get a bit stale. Harsh Cartoon still in the pits. Has everybody set a lap? No, not yet. Destroyer still looking for his first lap. Tresso still looking for his first lap. And then the man who just joined the lobby right at the end, he is officially on an out lap. So just unfortunate for Quibus. Every time somebody goes over the line, he's going to see his name go further and further down the field, until presumably it's going to get to P20. It's going to be a lot of work to do from the rear of the field. Of course, the field is so quick, we're going to have quick drivers here that are way outside the top 10, way out of the position they are used to. Some of these guys won't be used to starting in the midfield or starting at the rear. They start at the front of their respective leagues. So this is something different for everyone. Lots of support still for SKR. I have to say, in the last 2 weeks, round 1 and round 2, either it's just spamming the comment section, or SKR has overwhelmingly won the support here on NFR. Might come down to visor. I think that might be the difference. Logic from Allow, then Brands. Shane has improved, 109.5. Needed another tenth to go into provisional pole. It's good enough for P2, and there's still 8.5 minutes remaining, so he's going to be able to get around. Set another. This is one of the DRS cars. Just a reminder there of the colors and the leagues they belong to. JPR in red, LSA in white. SKR, go the green team, says the comment section. Then DRS blue, obviously SAFRL in black. Shane, he's returning to the pits. This is Allow. I think he's also returning to the pits, or he's charging up his battery, one of the two. Brands on an outlap. It's Ferree. His best time a 1:10.1. Take a moment just to look at those times. 3 drivers in the 1:10.1s, 2 drivers in the 1:10.2s, 2 drivers in the 1:10.3s. Very, very close things here in the midfield. 10th of a second could be the difference between starting on the front 2 rows or starting in the midfield. Steffi asking about the yellow flag glitch. Well, basically when somebody leaves the track or drives slowly, that flag comes up, but for some reason on F124 it sometimes flashes and it's sometimes solid the way it's supposed to be, but there are a few things on the game when it comes to notifications that are a little broken. One of them is sometimes the screen clearly says virtual safety car and the drivers are driving behind a safety car. So sometimes you do get the wrong message. There we go, the flashing yellow yet again, just to make sure you know it's there and to give you a heart attack in the race, because sometimes it triggers a safety car. Lots and lots of green all of a sudden in the comment section. Lots of support here for SKR. Boy in P1, Brands P2, then we got Logic P3, Shane P4, Allow in P5, then Divan. He's out on track looking for an improvement, a 1:10.0. Probably be a good lap anywhere else, but in a field like this it's only good enough for P6. Third row. Logic's going quicker. Logic's going quicker. I think we just saw him go purple in sector 1, so he's looking for an improvement. This is an in lap, and he just went faster in sector 1, but I don't think he's going to have the energy to finish that lap. Just shows you he's got more speed, and there's still lots of time remaining in the session. So lots of time for drivers to improve. This Divan, is this a preparation lap, or is he coming into the pits? I think he's coming into the pits because his fuel gauge is in red. Yes, he does. Kept me guessing. This is Panda. Watch him go around this famous Zandvoort circuit. Held many Grand Prix in the 70s and 80s. Then there was a long break. And the popularity of this country's new world champion is what brought it back to the calendar. Zero to cool. P6 1:10.0. These times, they're too close. They're way too close. The difference between P6 and P14 is 0.3 of a second. See Kubis at the rear there in P20. He's missing out. He actually crashed on his one and only attempt. It was his first attempt, so he didn't even manage to get a lap time in. Stoffel becomes the first man this evening to get a spin live on camera. This is 0 to cool. Almost said in the Williams. If you look at it real quick, maybe not. Into the pits. Now it's Ferree. Also into the pits. Every time I go on board with somebody, they dive into the pits. This is Spikes. He's discharging that battery, so I think this is a quick lap. His best time, a 1:10.2. Only good enough for P10. If he can find himself 2/10ths, he's going to be right amongst that bunch. Heading for the third row. We'll go from the fifth row to the third row with just 2/10ths of a second. It's the sort of times you want to see in qualifying. Close. Anybody can still take it right to the end. And then obviously, ideally, you would love to see this sort of pace translate to race pace. And we have battles throughout the field, throughout the race. Remember, this is Zandvoort. Quality drivers, but that's a lot of cars around a tight, twisty circuit. And we've seen disasters here at Zandvoort on lap 1. Hopefully today that will not be the case. Welcome to Boinkies as well. Trying to keep track. There's a lot of you here looking at the screen, and every time I look at the comment section, everything's moved. So everybody keeping the comment section active. Good to see the channel active. Good to see you guys enjoying the race. 1.5 minutes remaining in qualifying. These are now the closing stages. A lot of drivers on their final lap. A lot of drivers on their out lap. Now my name is getting spammed in the... It's gotten to such a point that I refer to Fernando as my name. So this is Shane. Current best a 1:90. I think he's preparing for a final lap. This is Lau, P5, Rota, P6, going slowly, getting out of the way. Some drivers trying to get to the end, the others trying to get out of the way. Some went out of sync, and now they're trapped in the pits. Spikes, Harsh Cartoon, and Top Gun, 3 of those drivers in the pits. They will take no further part. This is Logic, current pole sitter. Just behind him, it's Baby Boy, then Brands P3, Shane P4. This is Shane going over the line, discharging the battery, looking for an improvement. Gets a 1:09.4. It's only going to be good enough for the second row. Lots of drivers now going over the line, taking the checkered flag. No lap time from Baby Boy. He comes into the pits. This is Logic, current pole sitter. He's either going to peel off into the pits or he's got an improvement for us. It appears he's got an improvement for us. Goes over the line. It's a 1:08.9, and I think it's the only 1:08 we're going to see. Brands goes up into P2, 1:09.1. Almost had to bite my tongue there. Then Divan improves as well, goes up into P6 in the closing stages. Pantry Star appears to be going slowly. Then I believe it's Tresso also going slowly. Checkered flag has fallen. So I think that is about that for everyone. Steffi waiting for the game to become free so that he can start racing again. Tell you what, Steffi, I'll share play my game with you if you get back on the track. Your name has been missed in the lineup. Good to see you in the comment section. So now we just await those official results. And there we go, there they are. I'm going to get copyright for this background theme. Thanks F1. So Logic, he takes pole position, 108 rather, 9. Then we've got Brands in P2, Baby Boy P3, Shane P4, Allow P5, Divan P6. Then we've got Rota, Panda, Ferree, Zero to Cool, Spikes, Pantry Star, Tresso, Virus, Stoffel, Harsh Cartoon, Destroyer, Top Gun, Awakes, and the man who retired from qualifying, Quibus. I actually got through the 20 drivers this time. Well. I assume we have a few of the drivers who have access to the stream, but not one of them has mentioned this as a possibility, or I just didn't see the comment, or maybe there was just one comment and nobody really made a big deal about it. But it is raining. That does not appear to be intermediate conditions, at least not from this angle. So I think we could see a field starting on wet. What this means for the future of the race is, are we going to go to intermediates? Are we going to go to dries? Is this going to remain the same? Only really time will tell. We don't have any weather predictor in the comms box. Of course, dual green lights means we get off for a formation lap. A lot of the drivers would have been practicing for this race, practicing for this layout. Now all of a sudden, I wonder how many of them practiced in the wet. Go through that field one more time while the drivers are on a formation lap. Logic. Then it's Brands. It's Baby Boy, followed by Shane. Allow in P5, Divan P6, Rota P7. Got Panda in P8, Ferree P9, Zero to Cool in P10. Then on the wrong side of the top 10 we've got Spikes, Pantry Star, Tresso, Virus, Stoffel, Harsh Cartoon. Lots of support for Harsh Cartoon. Destroyer, Top Gun, Awakes, and Quibus with a lot of work to do from the rear of the field. France is saying that the weather is due to dry up about 15 minutes into the race. Just bring up some data. Was incorrect. It was from that camera angle. I thought the conditions were a little bit more harsh, but everybody is starting on the intermediate tire. And remember, F124 has introduced the addition of terrible camera angles at the start of the race. There's nothing I can do about this, by the way. This is the camera angle we get. You will be able to see the red lights, and those red lights don't sound very healthy. 5 red lights, they're going to go off, and we're going to be underway. It's going to be Logic P1, Brands P2, Shane already up into P3. He's made up a position in that red JPR car. They're really sticking out in the mist of the rain. The bright red, the bright green at the front. Logic leads the way, followed by Brands, Baby Boy, Shane, then Divan P4, Panda P6, Allow in P7. Then it's Farid just losing a position, going down to P8, followed by Rotor Spikes, Tresso, Zero to Cool, Panda, Top Gun, Stoffel, Virus, Destroyer, Harsh Cartoon, Awakes, and Quibus. Still looking to make up positions in the early stages. Lap 1 of 36. It's a long race because it's a short racetrack. Of course, if this does turn into a dry race, it always makes for a interesting scenario. When do you come in for the slick tire? Are you going to be the bravest? Are you going to be a little bit too brave and get it wrong? Logic out front, just weaving around on the straight. Looks like he's trying to break any potential slipstream, or maybe he's just looking for some extra water on the circuit. I don't think there should be any overheating issues at this stage. Still a lot of water on the circuit, don't need to go looking for it. Logic on the way into the corner, you just saw the car getting squirmy. Brands on the exit there, looking for traction. Car also just getting squirmy. Tough conditions for all the drivers now. It's probably the only time you're waiting for Jeff to speak in your ear, tell you the dry weather's on the way. It's almost time for that soft tire, for that slick tire. So these conditions, they're tough in a field this large. Trying to make up positions, and all the time you've also got to make sure you don't run into anybody. Awakes at the rear of the field in one of the JPR cars. Then Quibus, he has made up one position since his race start. Just a reminder of the colors there. Then Harsh Cartoon, Virus, Destroyer, he's made up a few positions. He's up into P16. Let's go back to the front. Don't know about those tire strategies, but thanks anyway. Logic still out front in the bright green. Still followed by Brands, Baby Boy, and Shane. That order has not changed. Shane briefly took 3rd place. The positions were traded back almost immediately, and they've stayed the same ever since. Lap 3 of 36. Divan, not far away from those top 4. Then Panda, starting to fall adrift a little from Divan ahead of him, 1.5 seconds, and coming under pressure from Allow. Remember, if you see 2 cars in the same livery, they won't necessarily be racing each other. They'll be racing as a team, so if one is clearly faster, we will be seeing switches in positions between teammates. This is the one race where team orders are the right thing to do. Logic, we didn't see it, but he must have made an error. He's gone down to P3. Now Brands, Baby Boy, 2 that were trapped behind him. They've broken free. Those 2 are teammates. So now they can play the team game, make sure they stay out front. They won't be battling each other. So you don't have to worry about the drivers tripping over each other so long as they're teammates. Elau is pronounced Elau. Elau. Well, I don't know. Elau. I don't know. Could break up my while I'm trying to go through the names real quick if I get to Elau in the middle. That explains logic. Logic has been disconnected. That means he is no longer in control of that car. That car will begin to slip down the order. Of course, he does have the opportunity to get back into this lobby, retake control of the car. But with this field being as quick as it is, he needs to get into that car as soon as he can. Another thing he wants to remember, if it does dry up, that AI can make very bad tire choices. So he wants to get into that car as soon as possible. He's slipping down the order, already down into P5. And he's not going to be very happy about that. Now at the front we've got Brands leading from Baby Boy. Then we've got Divan, the new top SKR car. He has seen his teammate drop down the field like a pebble. And we've got Lau, Panda P5. Then it's Faree. Just to get an update on Logic. Is he back? I think he's back. The car does not appear to be ghosting. So I think Logic is back in his car. But he would not be very happy to see himself in P7. Is that Logic has DNF'd? Logic has DNF'd. We have a caution flashing on our screens. There's no evidence of a safety car on track just yet. But Logic becomes the first retirement of the night. The night was going so well. Just became very frustrating. Still no evidence of a safety car, so there we go. Caution disappears and we're back underway. It's going to be Brands from Baby Boy from Divan, and Divan coming under pressure. Coming under pressure from Lau. We just saw it in the corner of the onboard camera. Now we go to the broadcast so we can get a better view of these two. And there we go, we get the first safety car of the evening. Second retirement of the evening. The retirement of Spikes. And the rain. It hasn't dried up in time. The rain has already taken some victims. A lot of the comments towards the game. I think everybody has felt that at some stage. And as there's somebody here in the comment section who's probably thinking about getting the game, well, this is not the best advertisement. So Spikes DNFs from the race. Logic retires from the race. Fortunately, there is a well-known issue with this game, that when people start leaving the lobby, can cause a bit of instability. Sometimes affects other drivers. We've seen it in the other leagues we broadcast on this channel. What this will do is it should bring that rain forward in the race. The longer these guys spend behind the safety car. In fact, the leaders haven't even, the safety car hasn't even collected the leader yet. So I think by the time this safety car is over, we might be in dry territory. And it's Faree. He's rolled the dice. He's come out on the medium. Now he's going to be okay for now. He's going to be behind the safety car in a queue. He's not going to have to push those mediums just yet. So even if the track isn't absolutely ready, he's not going to be on the limit. But if that track does not get better by the time we get going, he's going to have a rough time, because at the moment still lots of spray, still lots of water on the circuit. Logic saying that his AI didn't want him to race. Explain. So you're having a fantastic race up until then. Of course, the top 3 drivers in this race, as it was last week, cannot compete in the next race. That's your prize for finishing on the podium. Get eliminated from the next race. So for the 2 drivers that have retired, we might still see an appearance from them in round 3. Of course, if one team does get 3 drivers on the podium, they're going to lose those drivers for the next round. Every team has 4 drivers and 4 reserves. We should have a full grid of 20 come next week. But we will see a shuffle up in these teams. It's Ferrari. Still riding on board with him because we're trying to get a feel for these tyres. How does it look? It's difficult to tell because he's behind the safety car, so he's not really pushing. But now a lot of drivers following suit. Allow, Pantry Star, Harsh Cartoon, Virus, Rota. All of those drivers I just mentioned have come in and put a dry tyre on the car. Track still looks a little shiny to me. I wouldn't be too comfortable on the dry tyre, but maybe by the time this safety car comes to an end, we'll be ready. The track will be ready, rather. Steffi, your recommendation of every 2 years. When was the last time FIFA skipped a year? Or as it's now known, EAFC. Stupid name. Still behind the safety car. Brands is going to be the man out front. Now he's got some choices to make. You see, he's coming into the pits, and now the unfortunate thing for Brands is that he's going to come in. He's going to put on the dry tire, but because most of that field was already in the queue, he's going to come out very, very far back. That's right, Steph. FIFA's first ever iteration of a soccer game was in 1994, and EA have never skipped a year. So it's not really EA's thing. Could be to their advantage. EA doesn't skip years. Well, it did when it had the rugby license. I think we only got 2 games out of that rugby license, and the first one was pretty good. The second one was a polished up version of the first one, and I still play it to this day. Seth, if you know what rugby game that is, tell me in the comments section. In the comments section. Safety car begins to flash. If you don't know why the safety car is flashing, it means the safety car is coming in this lap. Unfortunately, we get that instead of a notification saying safety car in this lap. So, but we do know what it means. We've got the experience on this channel. So, safety car pulls off into the distance, and now Baby Boy followed by Divan, they now take responsibility at the lead of the race. It all comes down to the leader. He decides when to go. He can go on the exit of this corner, or he can leave it right to the start-finish line. His decision. No overtakes till that start-finish line. Baby Boy eventually gets underway. Divan P2. Looks like everybody holding station into turn 1 for now. No big action into turn 1 at the restart. We'll go with It's Free for now, because he's in the interesting position of being the lead car on the dry tyre. Car still looking a bit twitchy for now. A caution flashing on our screens again, and hopefully that's all it will be. It's disappeared. This is Awakes in P10. Destroyer, his teammates, just gone past him. This is one of the SAFRL cars. It's Free, P8. This is Stoffel at the rear of the field. We have the oddity of the only car out on the soft tyre. Should be the easiest of the dry tyres to get temperature into. It still looks to be battling on it for the time being. Yeah, definitely. There we go. Rugby 08. I actually found somewhere where I could download that game the other day, and I've been playing it quite regularly. Still a fantastic game to this day. Of course, I think it was. I don't think we got a Cricket 08. I think it was Cricket 07. That too was a fantastic game. Baby Boy leads the way. Divan P2. Everybody in the top 9, or rather the top 9 cars, they're all on the intermediate tyre. Everybody back from there, P10 down to P18, already on a slick or on a dry. And it appears now there isn't any spray to be found. I think the track has just crossed over. And now the unfortunate thing for the guys in the front is when they do make that pit stop, the field's going to be a little closer together than they would like. No pit stop yet. Baby Boy stays out. Those inters still feel okay to him. Divan agrees, goes over the line. Panda was going to say he agrees, but he's dived into the pits. Aggressive maneuver there into the pit entry. 0 to cool. 10-second penalty. So if you haven't seen that yet, Staff, there we go. Don't get 5-second penalties anymore for pit infringements rather. Get straight the 10-second penalty. A lot more harsh. We've seen those sorts of penalties destroy races. Luckily, these drivers will all probably pit again, which means if you do have a 10-second penalty, you can serve it at your next pit stop. No track infringements just yet. I think that's got to do with the rain. Guys not pushing to the edge of the circuit, looking for the white line, looking for the curbs, but they will start doing that now. So I think you might start to see some penalties in the second half of the race. Going back down the field to look for some battles. Here is a battle between Stoffel and Destroyer. It's a battle for P5. DRS enabled. That means the track has officially crossed over. No more damp conditions. And boom! Who saw that coming? We have our second safety car. It's lap 13 of 36. This has come... Well, Baby Boy will be wishing he had pit. He stayed out. The field's going to get a little closer together. By the time Baby Boy pits, might land up losing more positions than he expected. 27 of you watching the race as we speak. Only 7 likes on the channel. Remember to leave a like on the channel, and if it's your first visit to the channel, remember to subscribe. We're trying to get to 500. We had 200 in the last month, so thanks for all of the support. As for the race, not a lot of action to speak of. We had our first safety car. Some of the guys decided to come in, put on the slick, thought it was going to be an interesting restart, deciding when is the time to pit. But just as DRS became active, second safety car came out moments later. And now we're going to have a few more slow laps behind the safety car. Pit stops for Divan. Everybody now getting onto the dry tyre. Stoffel into the pits on a set of intermediates. Destroyer on his way out of the pits on a set of hards. And there we go. I think there's no one left on the intermediate. It's just the Wakes, and he'll definitely peel off into the pits. There we go. There will be no more intermediate running. Pantry Star picks up a 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I wonder if that was an illegal overtake under the safety car. I'm not really sure what that is related to. Baby Boy leads the way from Shane, then Divan. Those are your top three. Then Allow in P4, Faree P5, Top Gun P6. Then we've got Harsh Cartoon, Panda, Stoffel, Destroyer. That's your top 10. Everybody has now made a pit stop, so everyone's going to be on pretty equal grounds when it comes to tyres at the restart. Allow did go pretty early for those tyres, so we're going to have a few drivers out on track. Pantry Star, Quibus, Harsh Cartoon, Allow, and of course it's Faree. Those tyres won't be as fresh as everybody else around them. Those drivers have 6 and 7 laps already on their set of tyres, and some of those laps would have been done in wet conditions. Not optimal. Be driving around on a tyre in the wrong conditions can sometimes take a little bit more life out of it than you'd want. Baby Boy, Shane, Divan. That is still your top three. Big lock up there from the red liveried JPR car. Either just trying to keep temperature into the tyres, or he almost ran into the car in front of him. So much support in the comm section. It's great to see so much activity. Remember, there's going to be one more of these next week, Tuesday. We go one more time in this championship. That is going to be in Saudi. Very different circuit from this. Lots of DRS, lots of full throttle. Safety car will be in this lap. I feel like we've got that notification very early. We're just entering sector 3. That means Baby Boy, driver at the front, he's already going to start backing up that field. Start playing mind games with the man in P2. When am I going to go? Of course, only the leader can decide when to go. Then you're free to chase him, but there can be no overtakes until that start-finish line. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself with a penalty immediately after that safety car. Hopefully, this is the final safety car of the evening. And we're over the line to start lap 16 of 36. And already a frantic start. Baby Boy leads the way. Shane P2, Divan P3. Those top three hold on to positions. Got to allow just going wide off circuit. We've got somebody off circuit. Didn't catch what car that was. Look towards your timing sheets. If you see anyone falling down the order aggressively, that's who it was. At the front, Baby Boy, Shane, Allow. Who have we lost at the front? Destroyer, he's made up another position, restarted in P10, he's now up into P9. Quibus, at the current rate, looking at a possible driver of the day. Remember, he started in P20, he's up to P10. So he's gone through half of this field already. Still another potential pit stop in this race. Could get even closer to the top. But he'd have to rely on another safety car to make sure these guys at the front aren't able to get too far ahead. Baby Boy leads the way from Shane. If you guys have complaints about the quality of the stream, I will be moving it over sometime next week onto the bigger computer that I have here at home. Currently doing it off my laptop, and I think every now and then it's a little bit too much for the laptop, so I do apologize, but I think from next week we should be able to use a higher resolution, make the stream look a little better. Always looking to find ways to improve the stream. Just think that my little laptop has started reaching its limits. Baby Boy out front, Shane still P2. These two have been able to break away from all the madness behind them. Speaking of madness behind him, Allow trying to hold on to P3 but coming under pressure from It's Free, trying to get two JPR cars up into the top three, and he succeeds for now. It's Free, fantastic side-by-side driving between the two. But Allow comes out second best for now, and now he's got another DRS car behind him. It's Top Gun. Top Gun coming under pressure himself. There's action all over the circuit in this midfield. Too much to commentate on. This is the time I need a second commentator so I can say over to you. Shane has since taken over the lead of the race. Baby Boy now P2, It's Free, P3. So much action here in the midfield, I don't want to look away. This is where the action happens. Sometimes we focus too much on the leaders. Those leaders still close together, just 0.5 of a second between the two, so still very much within DRS. It's Free in P3 has somewhat dropped off from those leaders. And this is the train he has behind him. He's now trying to get off of that train. Get those cars out of his DRS so he can concentrate on the two cars ahead of him. Currently, Shane leads the way. Baby Boy, It's Free. Those are your podium sitters. Reminder there of the colors of the leagues. Shane, JPR. Baby Boy, LSA. Then It's Free, SAFRL. Then Allow. Also LSA, Top Gun. Another JPR car. Good mix in the field. Not seeing any particular dominance from one league over the other. Good mix in the field. Here at the front, Shane. Baby Boy, 0.3 of a second between the two, but no overtake into turn one for now anyway. It's Ferrari, still P3. He hasn't been able to shake off that crowd behind him. He's got Lau very close behind him, and then not so far down the road, just 1.1 seconds down the road. It's Panda, and he's bringing a DRS train with him. Lots of support still showing for Harsh Cartoon. Of course, if I haven't said hello, there's so many of you here in the comment section. Of course, Skull, Visor, Dixie Killer, Death Queen, Marlies, Staffy, Boinkies, so many of you. Thank you for all the support. Thanks for staying with us. And I really hope I see you all here next week again. Shane leads the way, but for how much longer? Because this time it's going to be side by side. It's not going to be side by side. Baby Boy gets ahead before the corner arrives. Allow, fastest lap of the race. Where is that driver? Where is Allow? He's down in P4. The man in P4 is going purple around the race circuit. It's Ferrari would have seen that purple lap come up on the screen, and he would have been, oh no, that's the guy just behind me. It's always a sinking feeling when the guy behind you is setting purples. Elo, there we go, it's Elo, finally. Thank you. Who was that? Dixie Killer. Thank you, Dixie Killer. Elo. Now I'll try not to forget. There are a few names I've been corrected on, and then I simply go back to the original wrong pronunciation. Bad habits. Elo. There we go. I'm going to try and remember Elo. So Elo has set the fastest lap of the race, but not for much longer, because now Baby Boy 112.3. Now it's Ferrari 112.2. Fastest laps coming in thick and fast. It's a fastest lap for you, it's a fastest lap for everyone. And now sideways, Shane going into the corner, just getting that car sideways, but he's able to hold on to it. It might affect his momentum on the exit. Might just give Baby Boy a bit of a breather, but it doesn't appear to be the case, because that gap's still just half a second. It's Ferrari. He's been able to do a little bit of work on that gap ahead of him. The gap was 4.5 seconds, now 4.1. So he's taking a little bit of time out of the leaders. That's obviously as they fight. He hasn't been able to get rid of Elo in P4. Still just 0.8 of a second adrift. That means he's within DRS. Every time we get a DRS zone, he gets a little bit of a boost. And all the work the driver ahead has done to get away gets cancelled out. It's a lot of work leading a car with DRS. So difficult to keep that car behind you, and your only option is to pull away into the distance. Another one I haven't mentioned also in the comment section. Welcome Andre. Welcome to Wheeze. You've joined us on lap 23 of 36. It's Baby Boy, followed by Shane. It's Ferrari P3, Elo P4. Then we've got Panda, Top Gun, Harsh Cartoon, Quibus, Destroyer, and Pantry Star. Those are the cars in the points. Of course, normal F1 points. So 25 for the win, 1 for 10th place. And we are not racing as individuals. We are racing as teams. Those teams all got their own livery. So you can make them out on circuit. Last week we had a bit of trouble, at least here in the comms box, keeping track of who was who. Things a lot easier this time around. Now side by side once more. Shane's going to be the first one into the corner this time around. Gets the inside line. Didn't get there before the corner. Had to do a little bit of work. But he holds on to the position for now. The This is going to be a tight one. This is going to be who gets DRS on the final lap if these two stay this close together. Is Weeze announcing a F1 return? Somebody's announcing an F1 return. Well, it's certainly not Staffy. Staffy will announce his F1 return in 2027. Shane leads the way from Baby Boy. These two continue to match each other's pace lap after lap. Some will enjoy this sort of battling, others will get frustrated. They just can't break the gap. They can't get a breather in the race. It just pushes you right down to the checkered flag. And they're going to swap positions again, aren't they? This time Baby Boy's got the inside line, but Shane's not going to give it up that easy. They're going to go side by side into turn 1, and it's going to become a traction race. A traction race that for now, the red livery JPR car comes out on top. It's still 11 laps to go. Good to see we've got some drivers making a comeback, some very, very quick names missing from the grid in the various leagues. I want to get as many of you back on circuit, as many of you active during the week. Of course, all of these leagues, well, 3 of these leagues are broadcast on this channel every week. Obviously no LSA and no JPR because I drive in JPR, but JPR might be back online coming soon. Who knows? There's someone here in the comment section that knows the answer to that. Shane's still out front. Look at that gap between the two. It's just 0.2 of a second. Every time I look at it, I'm expecting there to have been some sort of break, for someone to have made a mistake, and the gap has just eased. But every time I look at it, the gap has not eased. It just looks even more intense. This is the view. That's what 0.2 of a second looks like on track. And that's what it looks like from the perspective of the man in P2. Look how close he gets there to the diffuser of the car ahead. So easily. Can just go a little bit too far. Car ahead of you is not going to get any particular damage. He's just going to get a thump. You're going to lose a wing. Losing a wing around most circuits is a disaster. Losing a wing around Zandvoort, it's suicidal. Weeze may be making a return on Sundays. It'd be good to have you on the grid. Of course, Sundays on this channel, 6 PM. The SKR League. Currently in the latter stages of their season as we speak. Out front is Shane. Second, still Baby Boy. 0.3 of a second between the two. Isfari still gaining ground on these two. And Elo starting to fall back, so Isfari's got a bit of space, he's got a bit of a cushion behind him, and he's got clean air in front of him. So now he doesn't have to worry about his mirrors so much, just needs to keep focused on that gap, keep working away at it. The unfortunate thing for Isfari is a little out of sync with those two cars ahead of him. Remember, this was the driver who first took the gamble, who first got on the mediums. That was under the first safety car. He's done 20 laps on those mediums, where the cars ahead of him are on the hard tyre, which can go further, as well as they are fresher tyres. So I think Isfari's going to push this tyre as far as he can go. Tell me in the comment section, how far can a set of mediums go around this circuit? And you think he's praying for a safety car so that he can come in, get rid of those, throw on a set of softs for the end of the race. Don't know how many drivers have a set of softs left. Some of the drivers would have used their full allotment of softs in qualifying, so you might not have a set available. The two at the front, we want to look away, but they keep on racing each other. A little further back, Top Gun, defending from Harsh Cartoon. Looking for DRS battles around the circuit. This is Virus battling with Stoffel. That is for the final point. Of course, still 17 runners in the race. We lost 3 runners under particularly strange conditions. Since then, we haven't had, I don't think I should say it, but I'm going to say it, we haven't had too many issues. The second half of the race has been much more straightforward than the first half of the race. These two have been inseparable. Shane, baby boy, it's Ferrari still trying to make a difference. He was making a difference. He got that gap all the way down to 2 seconds, but now the gap's starting to go in the wrong direction. It's going up back to 2.6, and I wonder if it's just those mediums. They've passed their cusp, they've passed their peak. They're starting to go in the wrong direction, and with 7 laps to go in the race, 8 laps to go in the race, 7 or 8, I'm not sure. It's still a very long way to go if your mediums are starting to show signs of being done. Liza, thanks for all the support in the comment section. Nice to see you guys are enjoying the stream. We've actually held on to the concurrent viewers, so everybody that's here is staying and is watching, and it's great to see. And just as much action on the racetrack, there's action in the comment section. I actually wanted to put a poll up in the comment section for you guys to vote on who you're supporting tonight. Unfortunately, I found out that the YouTube poll can only have 4 options. Of course, 5 leagues. Somebody wouldn't get a spot, and I'd be called biased. But fortunately for you, this is not Sky Sports, and I'm not David Croft. Shane's still out front, baby boy P2, it's Ferrari P3, Elo still in P4, he's held on to that position well, 3.3 seconds adrift from It's Ferrari. Quickly just go back to It's Ferrari to have a look at the state of that gap, and it is definitely starting to go in the wrong direction. Remember, he got it all the way down to 2, then it was 2.7 when we checked it. Now it's getting to the wrong side of 3, 3.7, 3.8, just losing tenths of a second every time he goes into a corner. And I think it's really just the result of those medium tyres, and unfortunately for him, he's just out of sync with everybody. Shane falls down. We saw the car ghosting ever so briefly. Let's go to the JPR car. Doesn't appear to be ghosting now. Just appeared from that camera angle like he was ghosting, and suddenly he dropped into P2. A little bit of a heart attack there. We've seen that incident happen already in the race today, where a leader fell out of the lead of the race, and not only that, fell out of the lobby when his AI didn't do a very good job of getting the car around the race circuit till he could return. Baby boy from Shane, that gap a little bigger than we've seen it in recent times, 0.6 of a second. Both of those drivers pretty much on equal tyres. Baby boy does have a 1 lap advantage on the hards, shouldn't make too much of a difference. And Shane back up the inside. So we continue trading places. We've got a caution flashing, and as I notice the caution, it also disappears. So don't worry too much. Of course, I always say with 3 laps to go we can't get a safety car. About 2 weeks ago I was wrong. We got a safety car with just 3 laps to go, and we had a 1-lap sprint to the end, so these guys aren't safe just yet. I think you'll only be safe from a safety car by the time we get to lap 34. Drivers at the back would be hoping for something crazy like that to happen. These two, they just want to race each other, get on with it. And there we go, we've got a virtual safety car. I was talking about safety cars in the final stages, but this is not a full safety car, fortunately for all the drivers. Just gonna have to slow down, stay within an average speed, stay within your delta until the race officials decide it's time to go again. I almost thought Baby Boy was going to dive into the pits there for a second, but that is not the case. I don't think we'll see anyone pitting at this late stage. He's just going to come out at the bottom of the field, and you're not going to have enough time to make up any overtakes. Thanks up Magozi, I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. So virtual safety car in the very late stages of the race. Some of the guys at the back would have been hoping for a full safety car. No more talk of safety cars. DRS is enabled and we're back underway. Shane needs the way from Baby Boy, and he didn't catch him off guard because that gap's still just half a second. What it has helped is it's free. He's been able to close that gap up to 1.8 seconds, but I think he's just not going to have the tyres in the closing stages. He's got the gap, but will he have the tools? Then Elo, P4. Remember, these guys weren't able to catch up to each other. That was a virtual safety car. You need to stay within that delta. And also, fortunately for everybody in the field, we know that sometimes you're on the absolute edge of that delta and you just go over it at the wrong time. We've seen almost entire fields getting penalties at a restart. In fact, it's how I was able to secure a P2 earlier on in the season. 4 cars ahead of me all picked up a penalty at the same time. And luckily, I'm not very fast, so I was nowhere near the edge of my delta. Out front, Shane, Baby Boy, 4/10, but they're not the quickest men on track. Quickest man on track is Divan, driver in P16. Remember, you get a bonus point for getting the fastest lap on the night, but that bonus point only applies if you're in the top 10. So if you're wondering why somebody would come in at the rear of the field and try steal the fastest lap, well, that's so somebody else is potentially losing a point. That point, championship could come down to a point. Shane leads the way. These two still trading places. Gap closer than ever, 0.2 of a second between the two. This is going to come down to the last lap. It's going to be a battle of the concentration, pushing right to the end, absorbing the pressure, applying the pressure, going from attack to defend, back to attack. And that's what it's been throughout the race. Lap 35 of 36, not a long way to go. Just had a caution flashing on the screens, but it has since disappeared. Doesn't seem like anybody's been added to the DNF column for now. So still 17 runners on the track. Lap 35 of 36. We're approaching the end of the penultimate lap. This is Shane. This is Baby Boy, as close as he's ever been. Almost looked like he was going to go into the back of, I almost said the Ferrari, but that's not a Ferrari. That is a red liveried JPR car. Baby Boy in P2, and he's getting very close. Surely the move will come. He goes towards the outside and he's going to get there before the corner. Just needs to get it stopped. Had to jump on the brakes. We saw a bit of a lock-up, but he was able to get enough momentum to stay in front of the red car. Shane in P2, very close behind. But it is lap 36 of 36. He's not going to be able to rely on that straight into turn 1. He's going to have to make the move somewhere else. It's probably going to have to be an audacious move at the front. Going to be something that requires a little bit of bravery. But it's when it's the difference between P1 and P2. You really want to throw absolutely everything at it until the very end. You want to be as close to that gearbox as you possibly can. If that driver makes a mistake, any sort of mistake on the traction, you want to be able to be right there to pick up the pieces. But I just think we've run out of tarmac. This is Baby Boy. Go back to the broadcast cam so we can watch him celebrate. Weaves over the line. He's followed by Shane in P2. That means Baby Boy, Shane, Faree, those are your podium sitters. They will not take part next week. They will be watching, hopefully, from the comment section. And now we just wait for the final runners to come over the line. Lots of cars now taking the checkered flag. A lot of those cars in the midfield were relatively close together. The leaders, they were in a battle of their own. We won't read out the results just yet. We'll just let those official results come in so that the game can sort out all the penalties for us. Just 2 cars left out on track. It's Rota. It's coming over the line now. And then Awakes. He is, where is he? He's entering Sector 3. Remember guys, we're doing all of this again one more time next week. The final League v League race. This series may return in a slightly longer format, but that hasn't been confirmed. Of course, 4 uploads on this channel a week, and if I do get any sort of news, if I do get any sort of confirmation, you'll be the first to hear about it. Harsh Cartoon gets the driver of the day. And now we just await those official results. And I've already been copyrighted, so I might as well leave the podium music on. So there we go. LSA, first and second. Very nicely done on the night. And then SAFRL picking up that final podium spot. Your official results. Will you look at that? I did the wrong thing. There we go. So your official results: Baby Boy from Shane. Shane losing it really there on the last lap. Then it's Faree, Elo, Panda P5, then Harsh Cartoon, Pantry Star, Top Gun, Virus, and Destroyer. Those were your points finishers. Then we have Stoffel P11, Tresso P12, Rota 13, Quibus 14, Awakes P15, then Divan, and Zero to Cool. 3 retirements, Brands, Spikes, and the man who was leading the race at the start, Logic. Of course, now those top 3 drivers, Pantry Star, not Pantry Star, the top 3 drivers as well as the driver of the day, you are invited to the NFR cool down room, and then once a few of yous are there, I will bring you into the comms box if you want to have a little chat about your race. So just gonna ask that you guys give me a few moments, and I'll be back. Okay, we're back. We do have one or two drivers already waiting. Let's just see if we can fill up the cool down room before we bring anyone else in. We've got my controller's playing music. If you're in the game chat, please mute your controller. So we've got It's Free, we've got Shane. Those are the two drivers that we have so far. We'll bring them into the comms box in the meantime, and then if anybody else does join, we can bring them through. We can start with, well, we can start with both of you guys. What did you make of it?
That was a tough race. I don't think what we planned is what happened. So it was an unexpected race. Most definitely.
Going over to Shane. You led a few times, but you couldn't shake him off. You guys were equal in pace.
Yeah, and he planned it perfectly. Overtook me on the last lap down the straight. And then yeah, pushed too hard. Didn't have the grip to stay with him.
I said
And
on the stream it could come down to who gets the RS last.
that's what happened. But no, it was good. It was intense. Unlucky for, I think it was Logic that disconnected, and then when he got back in, his car debanked. I think he
Yeah,
would have been
yeah.
up there.
Logic was leading when he got disconnected, and then
Yeah,
he had like very bad luck with the AI. I think his AI actually crashed.
yeah.
So yeah,
I also disconnected at the same time. A whole bunch of us disconnected. I don't think it was just Logic. I slipped from P4 down to P8, and that safety car helped me like immensely.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes the safety car works for you. Sometimes it works against you, and it obviously helped your race today.
Definitely.
Just want to see if anybody else has since joined. Doesn't appear to be the case. I think we've just got the two of you. So going into next week, Shane, you're not going to be there. It's free. You're not going to be there.
Nope.
You're going to be watching.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Had
definitely watching.
actually had a lot of support on the channel tonight. We got up to 30 concurrent viewers at a stage. So
Oh,
lots of people watching from the various leagues, and you know there was a time there it looked like we weren't getting any sort of we weren't getting any sort of domination from one league or the other league. So it shows that it's a good mix. There's
yeah,
a there's a good mix throughout all the South African leagues. Of course, that was league versus league, round 2 of 3. We'll be back next week to do it one more time. That'll be in Jeddah. But until then, we do have another 3 uploads between then. So we'll be back tomorrow night, SAFRL. Going to do Monza. We're going to do a sprint race just like we did last night. DRS on Thursday, 7:30, and then SKR at 6 p.m. on Sunday. You guys can stay here. I'm just going to end the stream real quick. So to everyone who watched, thank you very much for all of the support, for all of the spamming in the chat. Thank you. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night. If not, I'll see you for League v League next week. Cheers, guys. Remember to subscribe. Remember to like. Till next time. Cheers. Okay. There we go. That was intense.